thinking, hoping, putting their destiny in somebody else's hands here. But one thing to keep in mind yesterday, and pretty much going back all the way to the group stages, teams that do well on Erangel, or do poorly on Erangel, end up turning things around on Miramar. We saw Entus Force kind of keep that trend going yesterday, where they had 5 points, I think, going into Miramar, and then picked up 2 wins in a row and ended up in 3rd place in the group.
Yeah, I certainly agree. 4AM, what we've seen from them today on Erangel, is that going to continue the trend-wise on Miramar?
At this point, I don't want to bet against 4AM.
Oh, God, no.
That team is looking just dominant.
They're on a different level today as we head into match number 5 for day 2 of the semi-finals, Group B and C. And as we've mentioned, it's the final 2 games for Group B. They do currently at least have 5 or 6 in the top portion of the leaderboard. But where will they finish tomorrow? That's the question. So, time to finish strong. Rumblers is a team that needs to finish strong as well. They had a great day yesterday. So far, not looking as good.
Yeah, that's kind of slowed down a little bit in their Erangel game. Still currently sitting
I think they're still
first
first
place.
Yeah.
You know, but I mean,
in comparison,
it's not a death grip on first by any means. It's not something that they can feel comfortable with going home. I mean, they're tied with VC Gaming. Genesis right behind them, Gen G as well. Entus Force, TSM, Nodus, Vincher, and OGN Entus Ace rounding out that top 8. But everything is so very close. And look at this. We're going to get a far north circle here.
Right on top of VC and 4AM as well, as you said, with this far north circle. Both have been doing well. Wayless landing the shot there as Gen G coming down.
Well, that's how confident 4AM's feeling right now. Wayless, the artist formerly known as Godby, still taking these long-range shots with confidence.
From what I understand, he switches between the handles, or is he completely changed over to Wayless?
You know what? I'm going to just call him Wayless. He wants to be called Wayless. I'm going to call him Wayless.
Hey, wants to change it over.
All I know
one
is
thing that hasn't changed is the skill.
Yeah,
it's still there.
And everybody in this lobby right now has way less points than 4AM.
Oh.
Hey, shout out Toffees.
Okay, Puma.
I'm just going to appreciate that one. I'm appreciated.
That was a dad joke.
FaZe Clan heard one. Way off to the north here. It's kind of an interesting job for them, as they normally drop in Manda Nueva. The plane obviously not too ideal for that, but it's something that they could have dropped and maybe gone for vehicles, but instead electing to go all the way north is actually working out pretty well for them.
Fortunately for a lot of these teams, the plane path was obviously going straight up vertical, so that's why we've got a lot of teams up north. We've seen, at least in the past at times, with more southern planes, you might actually see anything above San Martin might be empty. So that's not the case here for this sort of circle. There is a lot of teams, though, that are down south, the Freak of Freaks, all the way down in Porto Paraíso, and obviously we've got 2 teams in Los Leones, Infantry's down there, and Chumacera for Rumblers. Although for Rumblers at Chumacera, I think pretty easy rotation. They'll go out west and make their way in up north. For everyone else down south, though, around Los Leones, it'll be interesting to see how they decide to play this sort of circle. Whether they go direct or far out to the east or west.
Domu got a little idea that Wayless might have been just below him. It doesn't look like he's too concerned here. He's just going to go ahead and let the rest of his teammates know that he might have seen somebody. One of the interesting things, okay, we have FaZe Clan with this far north drop, and you see Na'Vi just off to the west of them over towards La Cobra area. These are 2 teams that have been running into each other all day long. And it feels like neither one of them are the better off for it. FaZe
definitely not Na'Vi.
FaZe and Na'Vi obviously have probably the worst days that they have had. FaZe sitting on 14 points.
That's because I started to cheer for FaZe.
It is. Well,
I have not had good luck cheering for teams so far, and that's been the running joke behind the scenes.
Yeah. So maybe stop cheering for FaZe for just these last 2 games, see if they can rally up a little bit. But it's going to be interesting since they're so far north there, and going to be maybe going for the same centralized locations here up on the north side to see if they run into each other again. Hopefully not for our
I think it'd be interesting if they do.
European fans.
Why not? Bring it on.
Na'Vi.
Let's see the bloodshed. I'm cheering for that.
Yeah, Na'Vi sitting on 53 points overall so far, so good enough for 7th place. They probably would like to get a few more. I'd love to get over at least 70.
Well, that's where the discussion now in terms of the cutoff point for obviously the top 16, 8 teams going home. For Group B, they're finishing up here in these next 2 games as Nerf Spots, Ghost Gaming going by. Whether it's, what, 60 to 70 points, it depends on if it remains to be top heavy or if the point distribution starts to spread out a bit more, then it might actually determine how that cutoff will look like. But the best way is if you're in Group B and you're finishing up here, finish strong and you won't have to worry tomorrow.
Yep, that's the quite easy way to do it, simple way to do it. As we, you start looking at those point gobblers, and you look at 4 a.m. You look back at yesterday, you look at TSM, but other than that, everybody else has been kind of spread out here. So it's going to be definitely interesting. But we have 2 more games here left to play, and we see MicroFry taking a few shots over towards Mickey. Nothing going to land just yet. Mickey going to be able to get out of that just fine.
Now Tentis Ace rotating westernly at the moment. As you said, they're going past Rumblers. Back tire popped.
Is he
Mickey be able to make it out of here? I don't sense he will be able to, at least not with the vehicle. It might have to be on foot.
Man, Rumblers wish they had that back. That is 2 bullets, maybe 3 at most.
Alpaca close by, able to come and give him a lending hand. Only a slowdown for OG and Entis Ace, but they'll at least be able to take Mickey forward for them. Head towards this phase 1 circle. Rumblers, obviously, they're going to want to get a move on as well. Freaka ended up going the Eastern Highway. I think for Rumblers now, it's probably just going to be go straight through Picardo and see what you can find from there.
Yeah, that'd probably be the best route of action. Also, can't forget about W-Click, the surprising team from LATAM.
Man, they've been so good today.
Having a great day today. So we want to keep eyes on them just to the west of Minas Generalis right now.
They've had 1 poor game, and that was on match 3 on Erangel. Outside of that, I think every other game so far they've been inside of the top 4, so credit to W-Click.
Just been solid.
Yeah.
I mean, absolutely
consistent.
solid through and through. I mean, you cannot take anything away. I mean, they absolutely deserve to be here, proving that they belong, proving that they have a shot. They have a vested...
Now, a lot of space here for this phase 1 circle, Poro, so no surprise that it will probably be a bit slow and steady to start with here for match number 5. But obviously, in a minute and a half, we get phase 2. And that's when someone's going to get lucky. Yeah, you're going to probably see a lot of rotations out from that. Rumblers did, in fact, end up going through Picardo. Micro gets a bit of air. No style points, though.
It is interesting. How often these days do you see a circle that's pretty much almost 100% playable? I mean, you got to cut off maybe 2% of the circle at the top there with the wall, but other than that, everything available for all these teams.
Miramar, you'd suspect it would happen more often, but it doesn't. You're right. Usually there's actually a lot of unplayable terrain out to the sides or the water. There's Force trying to find some real estate. It's not free area around the center of the map. Nice headshot from Xiongjiang onto Xiao Lu. Cherry. Oh my goodness, what's just happened? He's gone to space.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Well, we'll pray for you, Cherry.
Oh no, not like this.
Not like this indeed, and he's going to get picked off too. Silzen, you know, what can you do? Waldo now is left to fend for himself. Rybo going to push up, and he's going to get immediately taken down by Waldo. So good play here. Los HD coming to provide a little bit of support. Wick is going to send in Silzen as well.
Los HD caught on the backside, though, already very low. Gets knocked down by Ragnar. Waldo pops out, tries to get Silzen, who's just pushed in for W-Click. Ragnar at half health, but he primes the nade towards Waldo's building, throws it in. Waldo again sneaks out. No, he went back in. Oh, Ragnar with the death nade gets the knockdown, and that will be the execution too. Horrible for Rumblers, considering, again, we've been talking about it. Only 2 games remaining. Poro, might as well almost be 1 remaining after this. They're down to 1 player.
Hate to see it. Hate to see it, especially hate to see it happen like that, unfortunate. But MicroFry's still alive and up for the boys. He's off to the south. He's going to have to play this one out as a solo, just try to see if he can stay alive a little bit longer, maybe pick up a few cheeky points by himself. But now SKT is running it by W-Click as well.
They're not done, W-Click. They've been impressive today, to say the least, as they found a couple of headshots here at the rotating T1. We did get phase 2, shifted over to water treatment in the western side of the previous phase 1 circle. So the teams on the east starting to rotate now. T1 going south. That's why they've just gone past W-Click here at Hacienda. The water treatment's where we're starting to see 4 AM rotate around. VC are on the other side of the road from there. That's Also, FaZe just north of water treatment as well, so that's the place to be. The congestion for Phase 2 taking place there.
Yeah, with all this space that these teams have had to work with, we're seeing a surprising amount of early fighting going on here and a lot of shot trading. As we see SKT, Helen's going to join the rest of his squad. They still have to make it inside the circle from the south side of San Martin. And just Ace that pulled up onto Genesis very briefly. We see check on FaZe Etsy. He's going to be all by himself. They have a nice little split going across the road here. Just north of water treatment.
There's a lot of safe areas around here as well, Burrow. Like, going back to your comment in terms of Phase 1 and the playable area, it remains, of course, probably for the rest of this game, how it plays out, obviously. So we're not going to have any tricks sort of like that Rosok game we saw, for example, on Erangel. The way it usually plays out.
Gen G.
Wow,
Gen G wants this.
Yeah.
They saw this. They saw FaZe crashing this compound from the mountains just to the north.
They've only got the 2 here, though. It's only Pio and Loki, so they've got to be careful if they get too aggressive. I think they've realized now that FaZe are here, it's time to just retreat back. Smart play. Pio, though, might not make it in the Murado. Open rooftop is nice with the scenic driving, but it's deadly. 8C knocked down by Senya, though, of Na'Vi. That's going to help out Gen G. Oh, caught out. Completely out in the open.
That is unfortunate for Etsy. I mean, he wasn't even part of this fight going on with Gen G. He was just kind of making his way in, and fortunately for Na'Vi, they once again catching out their European brethren, getting a free point there.
It continues to be FaZe and Na'Vi running into each other. I think you jinxed it at the start of the game.
I might have. I mean, I might have jinxed it at the start of the day because they've been doing it for 6 games, or 4 games at least now. 5. P.O. going to do his normal scouting routine. Unfortunately, this time he's not on a motorcycle as he should be. He's going to be on this Murado.
This compound that he's about to rock up to is where FaZe were.
Yeah.
Just before, FaZe pushed down. And now Gen G are going to find that this is open. They're going to send Loki and Taemin and the rest of the crew towards this position. Infantry are close, but Gen G should be able to get Esther there and the rest of Gen G. Now it would actually be a decent spot for them. 17 seconds till Phase 3. And we've only lost 5 players for what's been a slow start here for Miramar match 5. Longska doing his best driving for Infantry Clan. Who have now rocked up to 4 AM from behind. Phase 3 pops happening. And it does go on to water treatment, which is good news for VC. Good news for 4 AM. They open it up onto Lin. They spot them first, although a trade back from Zhao Young onto CGG, who's been the front leader for 4 AM so far today. Forever's got the flank though, gets the knockdown. He is getting shot at by Boliang. Headshot, but look how far away he is, Burrow. He's not going to be able to help out much more than that.
Yeah, super unfortunate for Infantry. The lost track of what was going on at this compound here. 4 AM pulled up. They weren't even expecting it, so looks like they're going to go ahead and lose 2 here. Boliang and Longsker are going to have to play this one out.
Gen G are, of course, sort of around this area. Snooping and listening and seeing what they can find. They hear the vehicle of Longsker. Pio's going to pick over this ridgeline. He did get spotted by way less than 4 AM though. That might just send him back behind it. It actually helps out Infantry. Longsker might have been obliterated there if it were not for 4 AM. He's able to get away now, and Zhao Young will be finished off by Forever for 4 AM.
Infantry heading off to the north. They're outside of circle. They're going to do a little bit of a longer rotation around AHQ. Going to be sending it off to the east as well. You can see that they are doing their best to stop and scout out before they make their moves inside, but man, there's just no room to be found to really move in here. So the east side very clustered.
Went from a lot of space for the first 2 phases to now not a lot of space at all.
We also have a fight breaking off here. This could be huge as Ghost and Genesis right on top of each other. K9 is going to get spotted out and immediately flushed off by the Ghost gang as they are on the high ground just outside of circle here. This is going to be a tough fight for them to really continue too much longer, so they might just take that free kill and bail on it.
Surprising that. Ghost Gaming need points. And they're sitting on 14 so far after 4 matches. But not wanting to commit too much. Style knocked down and finished off by Rusty Zero. Nade thrown towards Shadow, holds on for now, but unfortunately CGG's hunting him down. 4 AM are just so aggressive. It's the elimination, 3 kills. They're not done yet though, knowing that the rest of Afrika Freaks are just really on the other side of this mountain. I wouldn't be surprised to see ZGG and Forever continue to push forward, maybe even peek over this ridge line. You can see in the background of that shot where we saw Longska knocked down by Seongjan, and the rest of Infantry Clan are eliminated in the process, out in 16th position.
This is bad news for Infantry Clan. This is their last day of games that they can play, so they have one more game left to make an impression, and right now they are sitting pretty low.
It just feels like 4AM have got eyes on everywhere. Eyes on everyone as they wipe out a Freak of Freaks fatal. 5 kills now, 4AM.
15 minutes in and
they've got eyes on Red Canids, they've got eyes on AHQ as well. And we're about to get eyes ourselves on phase 4. Will it continue on to water treatment? DJ Boyd tied holding there. They've also got 2 members of VC south of it. It does actually go over to Enter's Ace. Ghost Gaming are inside of this circle along with Genesis as well. Out to the far west. Forever takes the shots on the Raspu. The nade from Forever was in there first. Forever will confirm his own kill. 6 now for 4AM.
I mean, Raspu, he was a little bit far away from the rest of his squad, but he was serving in kind of a scout role. And he was doing it about as right as he could, but man, 4AM, I mean, they just, what can you even say at this point that hasn't already been said? They're dominating.
2 players remaining for Red Can. It's Psycho and Andy. As HQ have moved up, as we go over to T1, pushing up onto W-Click. Ragnar along with Harold and Silzen. Silzen's not there though. Harold tries to hold the concrete building, gets the elimination onto a CAD. 2 more members of T1 to deal with around here. You can see Howland in the distance. He's providing the cover fire for Jeff Locker and Ada. Around the side, though, the back of the building where Howland can't help out. Jeff Locker with the headshot knocked down. And they deal with 2 of the members of W-Click. Silzen remains at the warehouse. Oh, no, for how much longer? As I've said it, Enter's Force have just breached him completely.
Meanwhile, AHQ has to work their way around Red Canids here. Andy FPS going to take a few shots, get about halfway health with Yanli. Milk going to have to hop out the car. What? Oh. With the SKS. He's got no ammo left for his Scar. He's going to finish off the fight with the SKS.
Why not? In style for Psycho. As we go back over to the Rumble as Micro Fry trying to hold on, find some kills, gets the knockdown onto Howland and finishes off in style.
There you go.
Kill the buggy to kill the player.
I mean, where's the rest of SKS or T1 is off to the north here. Ada and Jeff Locker overseeing Entis Force here. Unfortunate that Akkad gets spotted out there, but great news for Micro.
So there's Silzen now, as we mentioned before. We had Entis Force pushing in onto this warehouse. 5 kills for W-Click, but he is the last one alive. Can he get any more? Headshot, getting it. Silzen! Silzen just couldn't quite get the last one remaining, which was Indigo for OG and Entis Force. Now, he should be able to go and get the revives on his teammates as 4 angry men continue to pester the last 2 remaining players of Red Canids. Psycho firing back in the blue, but it's a long fought effort and surely a foregone conclusion here for the Latalm team.
Yeah, 4AM has no pressure here. They could just sit here and wait all day for this.
Oh, he didn't check both sides as he walked in. Always check your left and rights.
They thought they survived through the Silzen, but Entis Force still taking a whole bunch of damage here.
What's going on with FaZe? Uber's going to go down to the blue here. It's Na'Vi again versus FaZe again.
Just same story, different map here. There's Na'Vi and FaZe just going at it again.
I mean, the bullets aren't going to get him. It's actually going to be the blue zone in the end, but they might still just finish him off anyway. They do. It's Senya, 2 kills for Na'Vi. And for FaZe, Mexi and Fuzzface are the remaining 2. The hopeful 2 for FaZe. Gen G has spotted them. So Gen G have got eyes on the remaining 2 players of FaZe, and so does Na'Vi. They've got no kills, and they're not in the placement points either. It's looking like another horrible game for FaZe Clan as we head to phase 5.
Well, they still got 2 up right now, and Gen G might have to turn their attention back towards 4AM because 4AM moving in from that eastern side of the water circle, going to cut up north. That's going to be huge
water treatment finish
for Gen G and 4AM as we got to see what Ghost and Genesis decide to do here.
4AM have got the entire eastern side of the previous circle, and now this circle as well covered. They cleared it out, they made sure of that, and they've got 4 alive. And once Gen G deal with FaZe, they've got the north side water treatment cleaned up as well. And while FaZe are in a pickle, a log jam, Maxi down to half health, it's either going to be Na'Vi or Gen G. You feel will pick up the points here onto FaZe as Red Canids will be taken out in 12. There wasn't much Psycho could do from that position.
He survived about as long as he could. It's going to be interesting to see what Navi decide to do here as well.
The immediate threat is Genesis.
Yeah.
They can't just pick on FaZe. They've got to take the fight with Genesis, who really need to take the fight with Na'Vi because they need to push into the circle. You can see a doozy with the Toby eye tracking, just scanning that ridge line. No kills yet for Genesis. Na'Vi preparing to defend the area, but the area that's not inside of the circle. So in their eyes, they've got to get moving as well. Potentially, might have to crash onto Fuzzface and Mexi. And if they do that, then they're going to be focused on by Gen G. It's not looking good if you're on the north side of the circle. Not a lot of safe area.
Well, the problem for Navi here is that Genesis has this high ground location right now.
Oh, that's caught.
That's going to be Rumblers going out in 11th as Force going to push into the backside of 4 a.m. They're going to turn their attention back. Indigo going to go down. Kale still now the last remaining member of 4 Force.
He thrown out from Xiaolu to finish off Indigo. Doesn't quite reach him. Kale's still there, just trying to move it around. Oh, he went prone. Try and cross over. It's worked. The smoke's there as well. The nades are being thrown as the flush onto Indigo comes out from Xiaolu. 7 kills now. Oh, Mexi's caught. You can't just go prone there. To your right, PO is the last member at Fuzzface, and he goes down for FaZe, just shy of the placement point. As we see the end of T1 as well, and we see the end of OG and Enters Force. Never mind, T1's got 1 left. I should say it was only OG and Enters Force. Profi knocked down. H-Win and Nerf, the remaining 2 for Genesis. Na'Vi have made the push over to the other side of the road, but Gen G, you think, will eventually get involved here as Adder's finally eliminated. There goes T1 finally.
Yeah, Gen G wrapped around the north side here away from 4 a.m., ran into the backside of FaZe Clan, and now they have a really nice position working the cliff side. Na'Vi trying to make their way in. They got the down onto Profi. Now Genesis is going to have to pause to get this heal off. But how much longer can they stay alive before Na'Vi decides to push into them? See, Profi going to get the heal. Pokemon Maldoid has gone down as Gen G is turning their attention back that direction. And we can see Na'Vi playing, kind of doing a 2-1 split across the road. New Circle is popping, going to go dead center. Ghost Gaming has now been eliminated. Shrimsy tried to make a run, but it was not going to be enough. And just Ace now has to make their way out of their compound and down this cliffside. That's going to be rough sledding.
How has Genesis managed to hold on this long? The smoke's obviously helping. 4 a.m. and Gen G, along with VC, over towards water treatment. Bomu, and now Antis Ace, all wanting the shack at the same time. Throws out 1 nade. Do they spot it? Rang and Mickey have got to be careful. They both jump at the same time. They'll make it away from that position of the nade. But if one were to be thrown into that shack, there might be some 4 upset men in there.
And Summer's still outside here. He kind of left Domu on his own. He gets taken about 25% health by a nice little shot from Entis Ace. So see Na'Vi in a rough spot here too. They have to figure out what they want to do. Pio is just keeping them pinned down. Genesis is going to provide a little bit of support though.
Well, Na'Vi have got the shack. I think they want to see if a doozy can find a better position for them. Senya with the knockdown of the Profi. They do still need to deal with Genesis, but Genesis aren't really an immediate threat, although headshots from H-Win land onto both members of Na'Vi inside of the shack. PO knocked down as well on top of the hill near water treatment as we see Summer finally eliminated by Forever. Doozy with the elimination of H-Win. Nerf gone as well. Genesis, I believe, are down to 1.
Yep, they're out.
No, they're out now.
Out in 5th. All right, so now we got Entis Ace towards the center of the circle. They have 4 strong by the shack. 4 a.m. still 3 up, and they have a nice little bead here on the Entis Ace squad. Unfortunately, nobody can get within range here to get a grenade over there. Just yet, anyway.
Entis Ace and Gen G. The only 2 teams with 4 alive. 4AM have got 3, but a decent position inside of the zone. Xiaolu doesn't land the initial shots onto Joy. PO with the knockdown to Medusa after they just lost Bestalotch. Xiaolu gets Rang onto Entis Ace. Look, when Liaporo, it's not looking good for Entis Ace. Despite their numbers of players alive, their position, it's not good. It's going to draw attention to these nades now from 4AM, who are up to 10 kills. They hide on the backside of this shack.
Oh, there goes Rang, though.
But Alpaca's moving up. He's on the right side. Can he provide a frontline initiation onto 4 a.m.? Find a knockdown or 2 to allow the rest of Entis Ace to try and cross over to the other side here, to the hill at water treatment. Gen G are doing a decent job of really controlling the north side of this zone.
Yeah, Gen G actually protecting Entis Ace here a little bit. They got the down on the ZGG.
They're making it very difficult for Na'Vi to get out of this shack.
That's just down to Senya. Senya's just going to try to stay alive for as long as possible. He's pinned down by Esther, but he just all he has to do is just not peek.
Alpaca, Mickey, both now have made it across the road. You can see how close Alpaca is to Xiaolu on the map. Knockdown onto Loki. 4am looking at Gen G. That might allow Entus Ace to initiate the fight that they want on their terms now. They get the knockdown onto Xiaolu. 4am and now 2am. And Gen G can start to turn their attention over to 4am as well. Esther's going to take care of Senya, surely. It's a matter of time now. That blue, there we go. It's actually Taman who gets the elimination. Now, time for Gen G to circle back and collapse onto the rest of the players south. But Forever actually taking a detour. He goes inside of water treatment, close to Loki and PO. Now spotted. He gets PO. Knockdown. Can he find a second one? Loki's in there. Esther and Taman have got the higher ground. Taman from above gets the illumination onto Forever. Gen G.
Oh, the grenade.
Oh, the grenade finished off the down PO.
All right, 3v3. We got an all-Korea final here at the water treatment play at Gen G versus Entus Ace.
Paper Thin be shaking his fist like, come on, I always wanted this.
Paper's been dying to get the all-Korea final. Mickey's going to get taken very low, but he's going to trade out with Esther.
Gen G have got the high ground. Entus Ace, though, now got the numbers, 3-2. Esther gets eliminated, no revive there. Taman and Loki. Taman's been doing a lot of the work. 5 of 8 kills from this high ground position. But he's got to somehow get Loki back into the fray. He's actually not inside of the circle. I think he is doing the right thing, trying to buy some time, but he might have to help Loki here. Needs to spot Joy. Oh, man. And potentially Alpaca as well, who are looking down into water treatment, making it difficult for Loki to get out here. It's difficult enough as it is. The nade from Joy towards Taman. If Taman goes out here, no chance at all for Gen G. Needs to find 1 or 2 that are close by. Mickey's gone for a massive wrap up north. If he gets this to complete, it's over for Gen G. Taman's going to make something happen.
Yeah, there's just so much pressure on Taman right here. He's got to be listening for these footsteps. Loki just kind of seeing if he can spot anything out, but he's really in a bad spot. Unless he can win this 1v1 duel with Alpaca, unfortunately, he's pretty much dead to rights here. You can see he's going to take him very, very low, but he's going to force Alpaca back, and Taman
That'll do it.
Is going to go down to Joy. It's all down to Loki now, and that's going to do it. He's going to get finished off by the blue.